Hey, how are you today? So this video is about this powerful full moon that we have today. All of them are powerful, really, but of course this one is special. You might hear me saying this every time. What's interesting about this full moon? So as we know, the full moon represents the peak of an energy, so the culmination of an energy, of a seed that was planted 2 weeks ago in a new moon. So this is when we see the outer manifestation or the peak point of this lunar cycle of the intentions we planted before. Now, this month we are working on the axis Cancer-Capricorn. Okay, so Sun in Cancer, Moon in Capricorn. What does it mean, the Sun in Cancer? Think about the sun itself. So when the sun is shining, it brings light, illuminates, also heats up. So what is being illuminated and heat up are the topics related to our emotions. So our emotional security, our womb, the most sensitive and vulnerable parts of ourself, our ability or lack of ability to nurture and to take care, and then the most sensitive and vulnerable parts we don't show to anyone. So where our wounds are, where our scars are, so things that are so intimate and so private have been being pulled to the surface these last weeks since the sun entered in Cancer. So the sun has been exposing this emotional side, our inner child, our inner baby, our wounded parts, all this sensitivity. Then we have the opposition. So on the other side, the moon, the moon as the moon, you can see the moon itself. It is night, it is dark, you don't really see clearly. It has a storage. So the moon represents a storage, an emotional storage of patterns, of memories, in this case from the collective, because we are talking about collective movement. So it's a collective reservoir of emotions, of patterns, of memories, okay? So the moon is not fully clear, is not fully seen. That's why it's represented by the night. In Capricorn, so Capricorn talks about the structures, the adult, the responsibility, the maturity, the I have to sacrifice some things because I have to go to work. So it's the more material, structure oriented leadership aspect of ourselves. While Cancer is our inner baby, our inner child, our immature side, Capricorn is our wise old man or woman, okay? So it's the mature adult, basically, the responsible adult. So this is the axis we've been working on. So the sun has been exposing the immature parts of ourselves, the parts that need healing, the parts that are healing, the scars, the emotional vulnerable parts. And then on the other side, Capricorn is showing the lack or the excess, depending, because many times we find an excess, like a compensation of the energy that is not being expressed by the sun in the moon. So let's say that in these cases we can see people, some of us that are extremely devoted and focusing their energy on this emotional side, and then a little bit lacking on the maturity, build structure part. But then we can also see these people that refuse to look into these vulnerable parts and emotional parts, and are more focused on the let's build, I need to work, working to not deal with their emotions. So this is scenarios that are out there. But yeah, the moon always represents a lack or an imbalance somehow. It's unseen, it's memories, it's patterns. So we are now revealing, bringing them into the surface, making it clear. Am I ignoring my inner adult? Am I ignoring my inner child? How are the structures? So let's say Cancer Capricorn represents the home, the house, Capricorn, the physical structure, and Cancer, the people that live in there, the emotional structure. So that's why we find the balance in between these two energies. Now, what can we add up to this full moon? So the full moon is ruled by Saturn, because Saturn is ruler of Capricorn. Saturn meaning our karmic teacher, the collective karmic teacher. This collective karmic teacher entered the new cycle on the end of May, 25th of May. So this was new chapter in Saturn. Saturn in Aries is a new beginning of the karmic cycle. Aries talks about identity, talks about the self, talks about initiation, talks about the movement forward, the start of something new. So the beginning of a new chapter. Next to Saturn, we also have Neptune, that also entered Aries for the first time in many years this year, in March, in the end of March. So Neptune is our cosmic guide. Neptune is the vision, is the dream, it's the subconscious, but it's also our multidimensional self, okay? Next to it, Saturn, the karmic teacher. So at the same time that we see the work we have to do, and that Capricorn doesn't lie, you know, Capricorn, the structures, the goals, the motivation, the putting energy there daily. And Saturn is also calling upon that, because Saturn rules the structure. So Saturn teaches us about time, that things have to be done well, that they need devotion, they need love. It's not just like, yeah, this is it, and then it's done. No, Saturn is the nurturing of the seed. Neptune might give us the illusion that the seed already is blooming and that there is something there, but then Saturn is there to remind us of the work we have to do. Anyways, many proves that we are living a new time. So Uranus moved into Gemini. I haven't made a video about this. I will whenever I feel called to. But Gemini moved into Uranus moved into Gemini the seventh of the 7. This is new because after 7 years in Taurus, so before Uranus left Taurus, it had to have a finishing conversation with Venus that represents our relationships, how we relate. Uranus representing a revolution, an inspiration, and a higher mind, a higher messenger. Let's call it a higher messenger. So the higher messenger met Venus before he left Taurus, meaning Taurus, when we talk about Taurus, we talk about abundance, we talk about worth, our relation to self-worth, self-love. So revolutionizing, these themes were revolutionized for 7 years, and then the final test came before the energy moved. So they met both in Taurus, then Venus moved into Gemini, Uranus moved into Gemini, so now the energy is slightly different. So now it's about the mind, integrating the mind, Mercury, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, with the higher mind, Uranus. Okay, but that's not the point. So the point is that this conversation happened. Venus is so important to all of us because it represents the way we as a collective relate. And this Venus has, there are two different meetings happening. So this Venus is in a conversation with Pluto, in a very harmonic, fluid conversation. And they are also talking to Uranus and Neptune. So the conversation with Pluto, being Pluto the pest control, the purifier, the one that comes when it's where there is like, okay, we have a big cleaning to do, come to help. Pluto is there like, let's break this shit down. So Pluto in Aquarius, as we know, representing the new era, the new ways, the new life, the new self, the new integrated version. And Venus in Gemini and Uranus in Gemini, they are all talking together. So Pluto is helping to clear and clean whatever is not aligned, because Pluto already was in this energy. So he had already entered, and he has been the one that has been guiding us in letting go of the things that are not aligned, that are not apart, that do not make sense, but we still try to go and I want it back. You know, the the old self, that it takes time to grieve and to fully let go. So every time we go trying to have it back, Pluto comes with a test or with something to clean it. And now it's doing this with our relationships. like sponsored by Uranus, because Uranus come and said, okay, revolution is starting on a new area. So let's first close up on that area, on that topic, with a gift, with a surprise. So each one of you will see which was your surprise, depending on your own energy, on your own chart, on your own life. But think about something that happened in the last 2 weeks and see that as the surprise. So each one had their own surprise. Okay, let's the energy move. Da 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 da. Okay, the energy move, but still we should not forget what we receive. What was the surprise? So Pluto is helping us to keep on track. At the same time, Saturn and Neptune are also in this conversation. Not in such a fluid tone, but in a fluid tone, like agreeing. Because, okay, new life, new ways of relating. We want to make it different this time. So in one side, Neptune is like, yeah, this is the dream. It's already here. It's so beautiful. It's so divine. Da, 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 da. And then on the other side, we have Saturn right there as well saying, yeah, 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 that's really beautiful. But don't forget the work you have to put through. So it's about remembering the work. Okay, it's about whenever you start to get fantasizing or dreamy, too dreamy, remember to ground down that energy and remember that, yeah, it's there, but there is work to do with that. It's not just instantaneously, and that's the big lesson. We are healing a lot about our identity and how we put ourselves in the world, also through the Chiron in Aries. So that's healing our inner wound about our collective wound about identity. Now the karmic teacher also there, like pushing to learn it more, because it's a gift, but before it was a wound. So to make the purification process, we needed help. And Neptune also there to help, meaning our multidimensional self. So this is the beautiful picture we have, but coming back to the topics of the full moon, it is really a dance. I'm feeling super much this dance between my emotions, my sensitive side, my longings are so present right now, and then the part of the work and the structures, and oscillating between feeling boxed and I cannot flow anymore, I'm not able to flow anymore, or the opposite, like I'm flowing too much and I need a box, I need some structure. So this is the balance we are finding now. Don't get unmotivated or demotivated by the things that are not here yet. Whatever you want is coming. Always remember that it takes work. Okay, I think this is the really key message is things take work, and that's what Capricorn also teaches us. So again, coming back to this duality of Cancer Capricorn, the Cancer side, the mother, just wants to nurture, just wants this beautiful, loving family. This, oh wow, a bird, a bird gave me a gift. Interesting. So just wants this loving family, this beautiful comfort of home. And then Capricorn, the father, is really, yeah, but let's be realistic on that. That's not just coming out of the sky. It needs work, it takes time, it takes devotion. It's necessary to sacrifice, to compromise. So this is the dance. What are we willing to compromise? In what are we willing to put the work? Only in things that are really sacred to us. Only in things that really give us this emotional security. So that's the big key that we will remember these days. See you for the next one.